Good afternoon, evening, probably if you're on the other side of the world. But hey, it's Dadman Walking 55 here for another show and tell with Dadman. Well, it's going to be kind of a show and tell and maybe hopefully kind of a chill chat a little bit type of thing. Just it's another Sunday afternoon doing something a little more relaxed and blowing up gas stations and all that fun stuff that we usually do in Fortnite and some other crazy games. So just a chance to sit back, look at some things, share some things, maybe have some conversation with friends about certain things of interest that I have accumulated over the years. Today, we're going to get into some Star Wars stuff. And oh my, and this is just scratching the surface of the types of things that we have. Um, However many of you have been around since Star Wars came out in 1977. You remember it was the first movie known for all the marketing, all the toys, all the stuff that came out with it. And it just got bigger over the years. And more movies, and then they followed the Star Wars formula, try to sell toys. Now maybe we can talk about some of that, like your memories of Star Wars over the years, things that you remember, and things like that beyond just movies. One of my favorites was a department store that's closed down many, many years ago. Dials. I focused on the Star Wars aisle, sitting there glancing at, well, not glancing, like oogling over things that I really, really wanted. Didn't get, but I got a lot, and but the things that you really, really wanted, but yeah, you weren't able to get. But I say all that, and everything I say is in love with my parents because thanks to them, I got what I got, and always appreciative for that, very much so. So so we'll see where this goes. We'll see how long we go. We'll have some fun. Hopefully we chat a little bit. Some things. Let me start by welcoming in Daisy Blossom. Hey Daisy, always great to have you. And lurk away, lurk away. And if you can pop in every once in a while, that's cool too. But I thank you for being here, for lurking. And hello to you, Brian Hepburn. Yes, my friend. Welcome. Glad you're here. Hopefully you like some of this. Hopefully we can have some cool discussions and things. And feel free to shout out with things. And all right. And hey, Liam Greywolf, welcome. And I hope I turned the emote only on. Cool. I do have. I like the wolf sign though, Liam. But usually when I see an avatar or something like that, I end up having to make sure I had not that I have actually turned off the emote only off over there on the Twitch side. But hey, welcome. Great to have you too. And of course, the wonderful, the great, ever-present Mrs. Dadman Walking 55. Always a treasure to have her around and helping me out. But this time she's sitting back relaxing today. This is kind of a me thing. So I see we got 8 people watching right now, some on the Twitch side. And if you haven't, follow us on the Twitch side, get the word out. We'll grow the Twitch side too. On the YouTube side, we are at 144 subs. So make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already on the YouTube side. So we'll get to 150. No, I'm not doing a 24-hour stream for 150, but it'll be well appreciated when we hit 150. It's always a good thing with me with numbers. Being in the accounting auditing field, I like nice round numbers. So 150, 200. Hey, 1 out of 1,000. Although what would I do at 1,000 after I did for 100? So, but that means you 100 are special. Let's see a little bit. And it's hey to Dave. Hey Dave. One thing that I've been learning recently, there is a delay between the StreamYards and the YouTubes and stuff like that. Hell, Dave, my friend, great to see you again. Master of Fortnite, master of blowing stuff up. We have got to get together again. And we can teach we can teach Brian Hepburn how to play. We can help him, right? Not giving up on you, Brian. But enjoy the Hogwarts game out there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and hey, Mrs. is over on the Twitch side. So hey, let's keep it going. Let's get both sides going. Well, I'm going to do something on the YouTube side, and I apologize to those on Twitch, but I will let y'all vote this way. What I was wanting to start a poll um, is, what is your favorite Star Wars movie of the original trilogy? Uh, yep. So y'all can. There's actually. I'm going to call Star Wars. I'm not using New Hope. So Star Wars is Star Wars. Empire Strikes Back. Or Return, not Return, Rerun, Return of the Jedi. All right. All right. So that's it. That should be it. Let me see. Okay. I'm asking y'all, what is your favorite movie of those three, of the three original trilogy movies? Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi? If you're on the Twitch side, just leave it in the comments, and I will add that to the votes there. So, I mean, wow, Daisy already voted Star Wars. All right. Cannot go wrong with that. So, we'll see where we end up. We'll see where we end up with these. So, thank you for the 9 people that are watching here now. And we will start getting some of the show and tells. And like I said, if you have memories of the movies that you see as we talk along, feel free, chat along with me today, and let's have some fun with it. Let's see where we go. And just, I like showing off some of these pieces. And I will tell you, what we are doing here is just really scratching the surface of a lot of stuff that I have. There is more. There's some unique things. A lot of this, though, is the pride of what I've got. Oh, let's see. We got Star Wars. So let's start off with this one real quick. We'll go with this. We don't have to. I actually had so many things that I did today. I got like 2 different groups of things. I actually have toys, and I have music, glasses, and other stuff. Really, really very interesting to see what types of things I had so many. I had to create a separate folder for other items. So plan is, let's get through the toys today, see some things, see what we got here, and go from there. And I believe that I just realized I boomered again. Ha 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 ha. I boomered again. So I'm going to see how we can multitask. But let me start with this. The first thing of the day is sorry for the glare of some of the pictures. It was bad photography from my phone and just attempting to do stuff. But this was the original set of characters in the original Kenner character platform event display stand. It's still in original. It's original backboard, original label across the front. The only problem with this was, obviously, you see that's not the original Star Wars Han Solo, who just had the vest, white sleeves down. That's the Empire Strikes Back Han Solo. Unfortunately, one of the things that had happened over the years. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right, Brian. I know. Exactly. Eagle eye right there. Eagle eye. I lost Han Solo somewhere over the years. Already got stolen from me. So I had to put Han Solo there somehow. Yeah. Dang, this is a sharp chat. Hey. Saw it right off the bat. But yeah, it was I still do not know what happened to it. I do not know. It's frustrating because it was really I had it all, had everything there, and to have lost it is really, really frustrating. Because it's it was a whole set of them. It's the original group of them. You see, also look at how some of the names are, and let me go back out just a hair. See, because you got R2D2, and of course it didn't have the extender leg. It was just the hole there with nothing under. And by the way, I am while I'm trying to talk and do this, I actually realized I boomered again. There is another thing that I need to that I would like to try to include. So I'm trying to do that now as I talk. So if I sound like I'm stuttering, that's what it is. Um, let's see. But what was so neat with these things was that um, like Death Squad Commander, it just had a name, just kind of death, deep death, Death Squad Commander, uh, Sand People. That's the when the movie originally came out. That's how it was that's just what you had there was this, it was called Sand People, and it funny how things have changed over the years. How everybody got names over time as it happened. One of the things the Walrus Man, who's now Ponda Baba, I believe, and then Hammerhead. Hammerhead was just Hammerhead, looked like a hammerhead shark. So it was just simply what the names are. And it's funny how the movie comes out originally and they just have some casual names like that. And then, of course, you see C3PO spelled SEE3PO. Um, just really interesting to look at some of these things and how they've, how the names have changed over the years and since the original movie because, you know, who knew what was going to happen with it when it first came out? It was revolutionary at the time. I remember my grandparents. This is the one movie that I remember seeing with my grandparents and my parents together. I mean, back then people didn't go to the movies as much. Well, at least my family didn't. Movies were like very, very rare. The only other movie I remember watching with my mom and dad was Joe versus the Volcano, and some 6'5" guy with us that was one of our friends was asleep over like four chairs because it was such a winner of a movie. So yeah, and so and Brian says I have two Star Wars Hans: the small head that stays in the Falcon and the regular big head one. Yeah, and you remember they had the dolls, the tall dolls. I've got a Chewbacca doll that I hope to show down the road. That was one of the tall plastic dolls. Um, but yeah, there was all kinds of things like that. I was the type of kid that wanted my parents to buy like 20 rebel soldiers just to have more than one rebel soldier or 20 stormtroopers. Cause I mean, how do you replicate a battle scene when you don't have, when you don't have, when you don't have the number of stormtroopers to do what you want to try to do. At least the old toy army boxes were things that you get plenty of them at once. Data says R2D2. I remember it was spelled that way. Yes. Yep. I remember that too. It's really amazing how, like I said, at the time when the movie came out, this is what it was, and then over the years, and then beyond the second, third movies, which are episodes 5 and 6, then the expanded universe came out and really, really expanded everything and made it for quite an interesting universe. Which I'm a big fan of the EU. I'm a big fan of the classic Star Wars of the original trilogy. And I'll just say this right now. Yeah, I'm probably what's called an old school Star Wars snob. I try to be. I'll be nice to people for whatever everybody has a right to enjoy what they want, but I am heavily biased towards the old stuff in the expanded universe. I I like the prequels though, generally, but they had to fill a way to the point to ultimately the rise of Vader, the fall of Anakin, the rise of Vader. So they became a movie that like Return of the Revenge of the Sith just kind of had to end up the way it did. It's so I'm not a basher of the prequels. Phantom Menace, I'm probably one of the few that did not care for the pod racing. I just did not care for it, but that's me. And I did not like the second Attack of the Clones. That was probably the worst of the three to me because it was just a lot of dead air. What's so funny is I took my 2.5-year-old at the time who grew up big Star Wars. What kid watched Attack of the Clones with me in the theater? Second time around, halfway through the movie, and in the Naboo scenes where Anakin and Padme are frolicking in the grass and all that crap, the kid pops up. Daddy, when are they going to quit fighting and start? When are they going to quit romancing and start fighting again? This is a kid that watched the movie twice in the theater, 2.5 hour movie. It's kind of crazy how that happens. But it was one of those that are great memories here. So, let me go back into the chat. Hey, buddy, good to see you. Brian Hepburn has got a museum. Don't get me off the couch. Hey, Brian. Hey, love to talk some stars with you. Like to see that museum one day, maybe. And Brian says the only places you saw other names were on the trading cards in the kids' book. Yep. They were. Like I said, it was funny how they were just basic names. They reflected what they were based off, like Walrus Man and or Snaggletooth. I mean, who all had a Snaggletooth? I've got a Snaggletooth, but I don't have the rare one. I think it was the blue uniform Snaggletooth, or there's the Boba Fett that's like the odd, the rare one that if you had is the one that's really valuable. So, and actually, real quick, if you look, I had mentioned the larger dolls because they had the large Luke Skywalker, the large Han Solo, the large Princess Leia dolls. If you look back over into the left corner back here, you can see the tall plastic Chewbacca. He's got his bandolier across it, and he's also got his bowcaster in his hand. What is really funny with these type of items is his arms flop down. They're like broken. Well, what it is the elastic of the rubber band that was used to keep the arms tight inside there. Well, of course, over 40 years, everything decays, it falls apart. Well, he's kind of done that. That's why his arms sag a little bit. But he's still intact. The arms are still in there, still have the bandolier and still have the bowcaster. So it's those were the types of dolls that they had, those larger action figure dolls. So, and there's another one that I have in there that's actually a furry Chewbacca, which is really neat. So, and Brian says, I used to call the Cantina aliens the scuba crew because they all looked like they were wearing scuba and wetsuits. Yep. That's a cool name for them. Instead, they get called something Biff. Hey, my friend, Mark D with a C. They are not dolls. Okay, Mark. I appreciate it. Thank you for the reminder. Sorry. Got a lot of show and tell for you, Mark. I got a few things if you want to show them once when we stream. Oh, man. Good to see you out there. If you got time, I don't mind having you on. Just let me know and I'll send you the link. But thanks for coming by. But yes, they are not dolls. Remember, folks, sorry for that faux pas. Didn't mean to say that. Oh, my gosh. One other thing I will tell you that in the back up top, also, you'll see a poster with Yoda from Celebration 5, I believe. I can't remember which one it was. But they used to have celebrations here. They move them around the world and around the country a lot. We attended 2 that were in Orlando. They were just a couple hours down the road. And really great events at that time. We loved it. It was immersive of Star Wars, everything that was there. It was a great time to go. It was a great event to go to. Yeah, I'm going to say before the dark times, before the thing took over, the Empire took over. Honeydew lads, I know. Okay, well, thanks for listening, Mark. Always an invite. And here Brian comes back with the 12-inch. The 12 inches were dolls, Mark D with a C. So now we've got the debate. Are they dolls or are they not dolls? What do you think? But also, don't forget, guys, everybody, if you're coming in, make sure you check the poll out uh, uh, that we're running on the YouTube side. I know we have one vote for from the Twitch side saying the original Star Wars, but we've got so far 7 votes. So far, the original Star Wars leads. Wow, I'm a little surprised by that, but hey, keep voting. So, hey, appreciate y'all being here, participating, and all that while I'm multitasking. So, Brian Hepburn, Mark says, Brian, I call them very large action figures. Oh man, that reminds me of the old beer commercial. Tastes great, less filling. So, whichever way you want to call it. So, and there's a show called Retro Blasting that does a lot of toy salvages and toy restorations and stuff. And I saw a fascinating one that they did where they brought back this Kenner stand. It was amazing the work and time that they took into recreate it. So a lot of this stuff can be restored, but what I'm about showing you are not restorations. They are the original items that I've got received over the years and things. So, hope you enjoy. I think that's about all I can squeeze out of this one. But I always love that. I always love that background with the TIE fighter shooting at the X-Wing. Really, really neat. We have here. So let's go to another one. This one is, there you go. The twin pod cloud car. All right. Hey, let me say hi to Donnie Pearson. Hey, how are you doing? Hope everyone's well here. Yep. Another loss of another actor, comedian. Yep, absolutely. But welcome. Glad you're here. We're doing well. Things like that. Brian says the Luke, Han, Leia, and Ben were Barbie dolls. I'll give a pass on Vader, Stormtrooper, and Boba Fett. Mark D with a C. And Chewie gets a pass too. Yes. Back to one other thing that I had to say was that with the plastic, and I'm going to go back to that other screen real quick because of the Chewbacca. With that, like I talked about the plastic. One other thing that I've got. One other thing I've got is a Death Star station, which is a rare one, and it had to dye Noga and all that, but it used styrofoam as the trash in a trash compactor. Fill that stuff after 50 years. Oh my God, it's the funkiest feeling thing you'd ever touch. Styrofoam does not age well. That's for sure. Yeah, Donnie Pearson, I have a great feeling about this live stream, especially now that you're here and everybody else. We've got 12 people here with us. Thank you for being here. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and follow us on the Twitch side, and share it out with others. Maybe we'll get more here, eventually. But yeah, I have a good feeling about this stream. Thank you. And we've only gotten one slide in. Hey, okay, back to the twin pod cloud car. And it has the box. One of the rarities is actually keeping the box with it. Again, credit to my mother, who was like incredibly protective of everything. Her philosophy is let you play with it. But then when I kind of hit the point that I didn't want to play with them routinely, she boxed them up, put them in the attic where it was, it was really, really a cool thing that have a parent that took care of the things like that. Oh man. Oh yeah. I remember that one. Yep. Another loss. So yes, it is so amazing to see this stuff. And thank you. Yeah. There's still, like I said, there's other stuff that I have that I want to show eventually. I just can't get to it right now. These are actually pictures I've had for a long while. But I have some games. I have some other vehicles. I have like numerous other things that are really interesting to see that we can share too at another time. But the twin pod cloud car was really cool. It had the landing feet down here, and feet. How about that? And just a plastic, just a basic ship, you know. LOL. Yeah, Mark. Yes, I know. What is yours, Mark? By the way, uh, I did not know that. You buy replacement blocks for trash compactor. That's interesting. That is cool. Yeah, it's but the original styrofoam really feels funky. I will tell you that. It is amazing. Um, here we let's see. There's not a lot to say about the twin pod cloud car because I figured, I don't know, it did shoot at the Millennium Falcon, but it's like, how dangerous could this little thing be? You know, it's just, and why do you use two pilots on? I did this vehicle. This is one of the stranger vehicles that never really made sense to me. I mean, it was kind of funky looking, kind of got you talking about. It's like, what, know, you know, some World War II planes, you'd have the pilot, you have a separate bombardier, gunner, and stuff. But this like two people that I never got this one, never got this one. And Dave is starting a hashtag. Where are they? Oh my gosh, my friends. Hey, that's cool. So let's go to this one. This one is, as I understand it, a pretty rare one. This, and it doesn't have all the parts, but you should be able to kind of tell what it is by just looking at it. It is called the Droid Factory. This was one of the odd ones that my mother bought for me. When you're like 10 years old, you're kind of like, well, then again, I'm not Mark D with a C, an engineer or anything like that likes building stuff. No, I hated Tinker Toys, Lincoln Logs, block, anything that involved construction work. I hated. So, but my mom picked this one up. Yep, absolutely, the Droid Factory. But it turned out to be one of the odd things that I'm glad my mom picked up over the years. You know, you could sit here, design your own robots, your own droids here. See, you had a crane here. Sorry for pulling in and out, but you had a crane. You could like you were moving it from side to side. You had different parts, like with the tractors. You have an R2 droid head here. You have some other blackened R2 unit droids. There were some tires in here. You have some droid legs, extenders, you know, bodies, you know, the little pegs that attach other pieces and stuff. So it was really one of those things that as a kid I did not appreciate what I had, that as I got older really you know, I learned to appreciate the value of it. And it's really, how many more times can I say really? I know. Thank you guys. Love y'all being here. So it was an interesting toy for somebody that was not an engineer. Looks like there was a gaffy stick or something down in here too. There's probably a robot extender arm here. Again, sorry for the blurry pictures. It was the best I could do on my phone. But, you know, it's you have another piece up here, like a radar dish, you know, you could use on the droid. So it's lots of different things, but that was an interesting piece. So, yep, and it's the Droid Factory. Mark says, nice. Yep, thank you. Daisy, I've never seen that one, the Droid Factory. Yeah, it's really, you can find it Googling it and things, but it's I don't remember seeing it. I don't even remember seeing it in stores. My mom just picked it up once. I think it was one of those, like I said, it's probably one of those Christmas gifts that was like, oh, what is this? Mom, I don't want to work. What are you trying to tell me? But, you know, yeah, it's really a neat item out here. So, and we've got 12 people watching with us today. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Hopefully you like what you see. Participate in the poll. On the YouTube side, we have a poll. What is your favorite of the original Star Wars movies? Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi? Love having you on here for this show and tell. But yeah, it's there are a lot of things that if you look hard enough, there are things you haven't seen. And this is one of the ones that I picked up over the years that really, really nowadays seems to be a good talking piece. So Brian says that was on one of the first things that I had to plug in our third R2 leg. Yes, yeah, and what Brian's talking about here again here is that at the bottom here, the angled leg. That's the leg that would extend that he rolled on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I figured one of the first, but yeah, it's that extended leg that comes out of the middle. Because if you remember back on the original let me take this down just a second, because you remember back here. See if I can get there. Okay. Here, you see R2 here just had a little hole, nothing there, even though he had the ability to extend the leg out. But the original character just had nothing. Uh, it's amazing how this paper on this R2, as I'm noticing, it's showing its age now, even though it's not been touched in a long time. So it's interesting. And then of course Luke's tip. See, look at the lightsabers. Ben's blue lightsaber has an extended tip on it. Luke's got broken. So we could go somewhere crazy with that, but we won't do that. It's Star Wars. It's fun day. But hey, all right. Well, let's get back to it, and we will see. The next item that I have is from The Empire Strikes Back. It was amazing, amazing movie. Although one of the first movies that I ever went to, I just saw this one here. I can help find stuff. I'm sure you can, Mark. I'm sure you can, or find places for stuff to reside. Empire Strikes Back was probably the first movie I ever watched that really didn't end happily. You know, at that point, I was just sitting there thinking every movie ended happily, everything was nice, all was lovey dovey and things like that. But I mean, it was crazy when it ended. It was, you're like, hey, aren't the good guys supposed to win? Well, it didn't. It didn't, and it was known for quite a few iconic things with it, especially Hoth. Anything with Hoth, because they were talking about when Disney did some of their expansions. Would they bring a Hoth or would they bring indoor? They had always had kind of an indoor with Star Tours, but what kind of things would they bring? Well, Hoth was always one of my favorites with the snow. There's so many things that we'll see here, coming up. And this is not everything, and I'm sure I'll touch on more later down the road. But of what I've had here, this is like a little play set. You can see where it has the pegs where you can stand your action figure on it. There you go, Mark. I said action figure, not doll. But they made them with the holes in the heels, and you could stick them on there and where they would stand up. And like in the foreground here is a little slide mechanism where they could actually turn. And of course, this is a Rebel Gunner turret here, which in the back there's a door you could stick somebody in. You could stick somebody, pop the top open, stick somebody in there seated. You got the Imperial probe droid, a whole bunch of good things from Hoth here with that. So it's this was one of my favorites. I think everything was my favorite, but it was cool to have an Imperial probe droid though. Of course, now if you've seen me play Rogue Squadron 3D, there are plenty of Imperial probe droids that they use throughout the game, in the early levels. So a little more powerful on that than what they did here. So, but hey, we got that. More Hoth here. This is a Hoth collection. Okay. We got in the foreground, we got the Rebel Snowspeeder, which I love that ship. That was one of my favorite ships, although it seems slow and you got a harpoon gun and the blasters were not that strong. But you got a Tauntaun, and remember the Tauntaun has an opening where you can stick a character down inside of him, not in his guts, but you can sit him in there so he can ride on it. Have another one of the smaller Rebel laser guns here. And then you have an ATST, which was in the Empire Strikes Back, but you saw more in the indoor scenes on Return of the Jedi. I do have a couple of AT-ATs, but like I said, I've not been able to get to them. But this was an interesting set piece here. The AT-AT that with the snow scene from Hoth here, with a little cave there, little character thing that you can move here. But then there's an elevator you can take troops up and into it, and yeah, the piloting cabinet. But you've got this was paint. This was cardboard. It's a cardboard backboard. It's a lot like the Jawa sandcrawler from Star Wars that came out. It's so like it. The daggum this daggum plastic piece is the same dang identical thing as what was used for the Jawa playset. So, but for the longest time I had this, and I was able to get a couple different AT-ATs over the years. After that, but that was the one ship I really, really wanted was the AT-AT. But where do you put them? So, Mark says the Empire Strikes Back, a Star Wars Atari game, was awesome when you got to fly the snow speeder. Yep, I think I remember that game vaguely. Give me one sec. Let me look at something real quick here, which is always dangerous when I try to go off script. But hey, because I think I remember that game vaguely, and I don't remember where I played it. It just sounds. I just want to look at it quickly to see what the images look like. Yes, I believe archive. Yeah, that looks familiar to me. Yep. Yep. Because I definitely remember that cover. And that was a heck of a game, too. That was a heck of a game, Mark. Glad you brought that up. But yeah, don't forget all the arcades back when there were arcades, quarter arcade games. Had several different Star Wars games in it. Were really, really neat. Brian says they had a Tauntaun with a rubber belly slit after. Never got that version. Yeah, I didn't know about that one. Let me say hell to Stunning and Brave Megatron. Hey, thanks for coming in, man. Good to see you. It says I'm a Return of the Jedi guy. Cool. Well, make sure you vote in the poll. At least Jedi will get one vote. But we have that poll out there. So it's really, really cool. Thanks for being here, Stunning and Brave. And it's good to hear somebody with Jedi because, like I mentioned, this little ATST was from Jedi. And let me see where we are. Wow. It looks like the big update in the poll. We've got 9 votes. Wow. Hey, Jedi and Empire are neck. Wow, I didn't see that coming. Hey, Jedi and Empire in a battle. Wow, that's interesting. Well, let's see how many people vote. Well, and Dave says the arcade game you could sit in was one of my favorites. Yeah. There were 2 that I remembered. I remembered the one that's sitting in, and it was so. Let me try something. I'm going to be really dangerous today with you guys out here since y'all are so active. I'm going to try to really be a little bit dangerous here. So forgive me. Hopefully I don't kill my computer. Hey, Stunning, just driving by in between, driving Mackany crazy. Yeah, make sure you're telling about Candy Corn and Fortnite, okay, Stunning? Absolutely. I'm glad you've been here, though. Thanks for chiming in about Jedi. So, because this is the game set here. Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, I do remember that one. So that I do remember that one, Mark. That was a good thing to bring up. And Dave, with those that you sit in were really, really cool. Um, let's see. Because see, here's a video game of Empire Strikes Back here. You know, so it's kind of interesting. They got Empire Strikes Back, but that looks like the Death Star run. But yeah, I remember a game. This one that was awesome with the Star Wars. In the arcades. There were two. There were one that you could sit in. There's one that you stood up in. It was a lot of fun to play. Of course, it was a lot cheaper to play back then when everything's a quarter. Who knows how much it'd be expensive now? How expensive it would be these days. But yeah, thank you for this detour on some things, guys. Appreciate it, everybody. Yeah, Daisy loved the Tauntaun. Is one of your favorite characters. Yep. And stunning. Yep. Return of the Jedi was my favorite movie growing up. Watched on VHS till the tape gave out. That's dedication. That is dedication. It really, really is. Say. And Daisy said the Atari games were really fun. Absolutely. There's still a version of Atari that had Indiana Jones, a Raiders of the Lost Ark game that I always loved playing, but I never had an Atari, anything like that. So uh, those were that was a really classic game that I really wish that I could have gotten. Um, I'm trying to search something real quick while we're here, looking back at those game consoles. The Star Wars game that I really remembered here was this one. And let's see here. I can't blow it up anymore, but this one, it was an arcade. One of the levels where you got your X-wing, and then you had to shoot the little red things on the side on the trench run. You had to put the torpedo down the hole. You fought TIE fighters above the Death Star, all kinds of things like that. That was really one of my favorite games. I think there was a sit down and a stand up version, and it was like on a two-handed controller that pivoted and turned, rotated. It was really, really a cool game. Really, really cool game. And, it's funny how nowadays they make everything so overcomplicated. It's like, how do I do this? How do I do that? But they sometimes the simpler is better. Brian, they didn't have a dedicated account for Empire on the Vector graphics game. They were Star Wars machines that they sold conversion for where you could change out the banner and control chip. That makes sense because some of those were looking like they were the same frame, but just Empire Strikes Back. But it looked like from the Star Wars game. Yeah, it's man, all the memories, all the memories. See, I guess back then they were trying to be a lot more efficient with things instead of keep building stuff. Nowadays, it's like, let's come out with a new version. Nowadays it'd be, let's have Empire Strikes Back version 35, or just like the way they keep rolling out more consoles and stuff. But I'll go back to Stunning's comment. Somebody that the Return of the Jedi was a favorite growing up. I don't hear a lot of that. Most of the times, most people say Empire, and a lot of people say Star Wars, but some actually consider Jedi the weakest. But you know what? It's a movie. Yeah, I know the Ewoks triumph over crack stormtroopers, but it's a movie, folks. Let's have fun with it, and especially if you're a kid about that age. Who doesn't like the Ewoks? Although that movie had probably like one of the most tear-jerking scenes. Yeah, especially at that point, I was about 13 years old. It was like, when the ATST's going through, and then the one Mama Ewok got killed. No. Oh man, it was sad. It was sad. Oh. Well, let's look at some more we've got here. Here's a good old classic from the original movies, the Land Speeder. Yes, the Land Speeder. It is still got the gear shift. You can. It's currently deployed where the wheels are laid out, but the shift up could retract the wheels inward. but after 50 years, I'm not touching it. I'm leaving it with the wheels down, wheels out. Um, what was interesting, and I don't have a view of it for you. Um, we'll go here on the back side of these seats. You remember I mentioned how the characters had holes in their feet to plug up on stands and things like that. On the back of the seats are those same type of plugs. Basically, you could take R2D2, C3PO, and attach them back on the seat so that they're riding on the back of the speeder, just like um, they did in the movie. So it's it was a lot of childhood memories. You try to recreate it, and at that time it was it was a blast. It was cool because that gave us something we had. And if you look in the front, there is a, let me see if I go back once. Okay, you don't see it here, but you can see it here also. There's a forward storage compartment. There's a button at the front of the speeder. If you push it, it pops this open. You can put your blasters and stuff like that in it, and or tools or whatever else, and you set in there and then clap it shut. So it's a good. It was. This is original from the 77, so it's definitely an old one and a good one. So, and the Millennium Falcon from the original movie. If Mark D with a C still here, this is it, buddy. This is the Falcon. And by the way, thank you so for your chatting with me. Thanks for sharing your memories of Star Wars and things. What types of toys or collectibles do you have and that you're proud of, that you like, or what are your favorite what are your favorite vehicles? I've shown the twin pod cloud car, the snow speeder, or it's actually a speeder. It can be used in other types of weather. The Millennium Falcon now, the land speeder. What kind of things did y'all like? Yeah, yeah. I think back then you could spend money on your allowance money on toys. They were actually affordable. Oh man, but yeah, it's this comes complete with the upper gun, the radar dish. You got the compartment on the side, the piloting compartment on the side. Um, the back panel is removable. We're going to see that. Yes, I actually have another one that my mother-in-law gave me for parts. So, yep. Thank you for reminding me of that one. That's the one Santa ran out of. Oh, yep. This is it, Mark. I'm sorry, but hey, this is it's really a classic. It was a good one. But hey, I know Santa got other good things. In the back storage compartment here, you can see you can put a character here. Let me try to do this. Let me see. Sorry about this. Hey, spin the world. All right, there we go. All right, so let's look here. You could put the character up here to operate the gun turret. It has the chessboard, the famous hollow chessboard, and then the stowaway compartment, the smuggling compartment, just like the movie. You can see this one is still in really good shape, but you can see that stickers starting to peel. It's after all this time, but really still in good shape. Really, really a fun ship, fun thing to have. Brian says, a Falcon is still my favorite. My original was missing the cardboard inside because we had a pool and everything ended up in the pool. Oh, man. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. Daisy's, for her, the number one vehicle, the Millennium Falcon, the X-Wing, 3 Vader's TIE Fighter. Oh, man. I do not argue with those at all, and I really like Darth Vader's TIE Fighter better than the regular TIE Fighters. Yeah, and his had hyperdrive, his was special. The regular TIE Fighters didn't have that kind of stuff. But Brian says, a good thing as a kid, it made the inside way larger to play with the figures in. Yep. Yeah. I tell you, yeah, because these things, it is really tight area. You think this is a lot of space. It's really not, especially if you try to put 4 or 5 people in it, like you did, like maybe in a scene in the movie. Nope. It's it gets quite crowded quite quickly. So, but yeah, let me go back and show you one more on the outer view of it, and the battery compartments here, which we took out many years ago. Um, just really, again, credit to my mother for doing what she did to put stuff away, um, like she did, was really a big thing that helped us. It you got to thank her for that, because it's so easy to lose this stuff. It's so easy, for stuff to go bad. Her philosophy was, if you play with it and stuff happens, that's one thing. But it, it, but to just let something go get neglected and fall apart, just just because of lack of attention, was not a good thing. So I really credit her to this day to have kept all this stuff in good shape. So yeah. So hey, all righty. Well, let's see. I want to take a look at something real quick. But hey, yeah, we've still got 9 people watching us. Thank you, everybody that's here. Appreciate you all being here. And just checking a few things here, see how much longer how many more things we got. All right, we got a few more things to share. Don't forget the poll out there on the YouTube side. Make sure you vote. All right, which is your favorite of the original trilogy movies? Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi? That makes me think of another question. What's your favorite vehicle next time when we do if we talk Star Wars again? To do. So let me see. Now we're back. All righty. So the next thing we're going to go to is probably my favorite thing. Of course, nowadays, I would not buy this nowadays because of all the stuff that's happened over the years and whatever else, and how plastic toy guns all now have these red tips and are make look fake and stuff. I mean, I had the old World War II Tommy gun, things like that. That's the generation I grew up in, and I miss that realism uh, as a collector, or as But this was probably one of my favorites that I went around with all the time, just trying to shoot things. Uh, it's a Han Solo blaster. Love this blaster. Walk around, part your hair in the middle, try to wear something kind of like him, and then pull it out. Hey, this was a great gun. You see here, you can see the battery storage compartment. I don't remember if it's double A's what they use. I think there were larger batteries back then, a lot of them. But you have the arrows to line up the positions to pop off the side to replace your batteries. So yes, cap guns were fun. Yes, absolutely. You know what I like with cap guns? I like smelling the sulfur afterwards. Actually, I like smelling before and after. I didn't, just it was just something about about those caps that just were really fun, and you just wanted to have a lot of fun with. They smelled neat, but yeah, this is the blaster here, blaster pistol. You could pull the trigger, push the button down here that would activate the sounds when you pull the trigger. So it was a two-phase thing. You had to pull the trigger and push the button, but it very realistic, like the blaster in the movie. It was a great piece. So all right, well, let's go beyond that. And also, the other question: were there weapons that you like? Do you like the gaffy sticks? Do you like the the World Series, the lightsabers? Do you like what type of the weapons did you like? Do you like the bowcaster Chewbacca carried? What type of things? And yes, Mark, you definitely can't buy that at Disney World anymore. Well, Well, it's there is something about realism though, and as I turn this on, finally. But hey, make sure you go like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video. Anyway, follow us on Twitch. We'll have a lot of fun together along the way. But yeah, definitely can't buy that at Walt Disney World anymore. Okay, what? Let me pull this down a second. I should have worked with the view on this a second so you didn't have to break your necks. But okay. Two C cell batteries. Okay, thank you. That's what it was. Okay. All right. I always get confused too between C and D, but I remember they were not like 9 volts. Like nowadays things are either, are double A's. I like that things are smaller with the double A's now, but hey, but 2C cell batteries, absolutely. Okay. I don't know. Remember, I don't know how many of you have been. Hold on. Did the wrong thing. Yep. There we go. All right. Now I'm ready. I don't know how many of y'all have been around with some of the chill chats that I've done and with certain people and things like that. One of the things that has come up in some of our streams was what Disney used to have, which was called Star Wars weekends. It was about a 4-week period, usually between middle May, middle June, and sometimes they extended it. Sorry, Daisy. Sorry, Daisy. Too late. Neck broken. Oh, sorry. But the Star Wars weekends. Well, as I mentioned in those, they had character greetings. They had characters from prequels and original movies, and they also had actors, actresses actresses make appearance, have talk shows, do things like that. I could maybe in a minute I can show you a little bit of one of those when I'm done with these. But since we're talking Star Wars today, that's why we'll. And don't forget to vote on our poll on YouTube. But they also had different things. They had kids trivia. They also had adult trivia. And the adult Star Wars trivia was really a big thing. I didn't realize what it was till I finally got. I mean, I did not realize how big it was, and a big deal until I got picked to go on it. A lot of times you think you get a cheesy ham and egg or just a crappy price, something. Maybe here get a T-shirt out of the gift shop or something. Well, what I'm about to show you is what I won. What the grand prize of from the one time that I was on the Star Wars trivia at Star Wars weekends. Okay, mind you, I signed up in time. I got whatever, but I got up there. Kept going through all the different rounds, and then they finally had a round with about 3 to 5 of us left, and then it was down to 3 of us. No, actually, 2 of us is what it was. And it was a dry erase board thing before that, but we're down to what became the last question. And if I've asked this on another stream, but since we're focusing Star Wars today, Star Wars fans out there, see if you can answer this. What species was Senator Ornfried Ta? Now, this is from the prequel movies, Senator Ornfried Ta. If you remember who that character is, what was his species? So with that note, I'm going to tell you what I won was not a crappy bullshit prize. What I won was this thing. A die-cast metal Republic gunship. Buddy Hepburn, ding, ding, ding. You are right. Good job. Hey, you beat your dad in on that one. Absolutely proud of you. I don't really have a prize for you other than pictures, but hey, pictures of Star Wars stuff. But hey, thanks for playing, and you got it right. Yay. But yeah, this is all die-cast metal. It is heavy as heck. Yeah. Wowzers. Absolutely. It's all, like I said, die-cast metal, all of it. And you see it's got some clone troopers around it that actually load up into the ship. You can see clone pilots in the front. Yeah. Hey, your son paid attention. You taught him well, Brian. And yeah, wow, that's awesome. That's what was funny is, they kept saying that the top prize was a diecast metal Republic gunship, but I'm like thinking maybe it was like a little model or something. This thing is at least a football in length and probably about 8 inches tall. It's probably about a foot wing to wing, 9 to 12 inches wing to wing. It is really heavy. So it is all diecast metal. I think that at the time they said it was like $350 prize. And I'm like, whoa. So that was why one of the reasons why we really love Star Wars weekends when we get that. And I'm wondering, the missus might help me remember this because it seemed like we may have not gone for a couple years after that year. And then when we went back, or maybe it was in the next year or two, they quit doing that type of adult trivia contest with, it was like, this did not last long with this kind of prize. It was like here and gone. Yes, thank you, buddy. Yes, this is see, it's not original movie. See, I'm throwing something in from the prequel trilogy. Here, it is a real thing there too. Yes, and I've got some. I actually have some diecast metal X-wing and Y-wings that I want to show too when I can get to them. And Mrs. says she thinks that was the last year of the really good prizes. Yep, because it was like after that you're kind of like, it's like why am I going to bother with that? So it came with a certificate of authentication. It's just several different things. Probably will not get to it today, but I'm going to tease a little bit. There is another set of stuff I'm going to have to do for another stream, apparently, because we were over an hour already with this and still a few more things to go. But up here, I'm just going to tease it. If you think you know what this might be up here, it's got Yoda and you see Vader and Luke fighting. It's obviously Empire Strikes Back. But what do you think that might be? If you look at that picture up there, let's see if I can get to it. That right up there. See if you think that might, what that might be. I'll let you know in a little bit. But yeah, it's so here's some more views of that. Yeah. See again, a certificate of authenticity, official diecast replica Republic gunship, episode 2. Like I said, there's the troopers here that load up into it. You got some cannon. You got the engines up here. You got the cannon in front. Pilots. Let's see. Here we go. Here. And here's a side view of it. So you can see the length of it. And it's on the stand there. So it's was really heavy, I will say. So it's here we go with this. A closer view, the canopy's off. You see the clone pilots, see the clone troopers. You got a Yoda there. You got the sideball gunner. Really, really, really neat. A lot of detail. And here's the certificate of authenticity. So 2, it was 232 of 2,500. So it was shown in flight position, cover base pewter nameplate. Wow, 1 of 2,500 pieces produced. So it's it talks about it has the cannons, the removal cockpit exposes the cockpit detail as well as pilot, co-pilot. The tail ramp lowers to display 2 speeder bikes. The astonishing interior detail includes a formidable Yoda surrounded by clone troopers. So that was definitely one of the big prizes that I had for all the Star Wars weekends. Let me do something real quick here. And again, because like I mentioned with Star Wars weekends, one of the things that really happened was, as I'd mentioned, was that you had actors and stuff that came on and stuff like that. Kind of appropriate, though, in this case for, and y'all, people may have seen this. And if you did, bear with me. There are others that may not have seen this, because at one of the last Star Wars weekends, we didn't get to meet him, but we got a chance to see at the talk show live on stage talking. I wish I could do the right music without copyright strikes, but hey, you gotta love everybody when their rules. The Emperor himself, or Sidious, Chancellor Palpatine, or known as Ian McDiarmid. This was this was the type of event the Star Wars weekends were, and how big they were. They could get some star power with it. Others that we met over the years there, Daniel Logan, Tamara Morrison, Amy Allen, who played. Hey, I'm just showing the guy. Some people like the Empire, but and this is the real Emperor before the dark times, before whatever those last three things were, we'll call it. But this was a blast. We met Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca. Oh my gosh, I think we met. I don't remember if Kenny Baker was there once when we were there, but we met so many of a few of the actors. We met Rick McCallum, who was one of the executive producers in the prequel movies, who the missus shared like a handmade book that he appreciated, detailing Star Wars. Just a bunch of different things that we've seen, a bunch of different people we got to meet. And the autographs were free. I mean, you just had to get up at. What's weird is in the early days, you could get there at a normal time and it was okay. Okay. We did the morning show and Kenny Baker was there. Okay. Thank you. I thought we had seen him once, because I'm going to show you, we actually met someone else somewhere else, but the, in the original days, you got there probably at a normal time, like 7:30, an hour and a half early. It wouldn't be a big deal and all. But by the time we were done with it, by the time they ended, you had to be there by 4:00 in the morning to get tickets for the autographs. Even with B-list actors, it was crazy. It just was insane how it had grown over the years. One of the early ones we went to, my kids got pulled onto a national TV talk show. Actually, they took us all back. The kids got face painted, and one's Yoda, one's Ayla Sakura, and it just was so fast, so great. And we got interviewed as a family by the Orlando Fox station, and they looked at the missus and said, "Why are you here?" "To support my husband." So, hey, yeah, absolutely. Yep, to get in line to see the actors. Yeah, we did early that time, but then, like I said, as time went, we had to get there much earlier, and it really became a lot. And see, he didn't pull out a lightsaber, but he did the Force lightning while he was there, and then he's talking there. So it was really like that. That's what was a great joy with Star Wars weekends. And I'll show one more here. That weekend, he was on here with Amy Allen, who played Ayla Sakura, who was my oldest favorite at the time. So, so that being said, that was a little detour I just took there because of being able to, because I could. So, but one of the other actors that we had the pleasure to meet. Oh yeah. Gee, I love Sir Ian. Yes, he was fascinating. And we actually saw him also at Star Wars Celebration, and just fascinating to watch and listen to. Very loved the people, love being there. Is really, really a good thing to see. Oh, because it's my stream, I can do what I want. LOL. Hey, it's like when I had the whistle officiating basketball. I have it. Oh, okay. He's not knighted yet, but well, he was such a gentleman. I could grant him the title sir anyway, because he was great there already. So, but hey, yeah, no, we appreciate the honesty. We appreciate the honesty. Yeah, absolutely, because it does matter. So, but yeah, well, we've still got 10 people with us. You know, follow us on Twitch, sub on the YouTube side. Let's get to 150. Share it out about the channel. Make sure you like this video. Participate in the poll on the YouTube side if you have not yet. So let me check on that real quick before I do this last thing. Oh my gosh. Wow. We got 50% Star Wars, 25% Empire, 25% Jedi with 12 votes. Wow. Well, thank you for one. This is the most responses I've ever had in a poll. And two, wow, that's kind of, I'm surprised the neck and neck between Jedi and Empire, honestly. But to what I was going to say here with this, one of the other fellows that we met him actually both at Star Wars Celebration and at Star Wars weekends. There's only one man that truly has worn the uniform, as I consider it. Others have to extend the franchise and things like that, but there will always be the one real Boba Fett. And we had the helmet, and we got to meet Jeremy Bulloch. Quite an honor, quite a real, you talk about a great person, a great gentleman, very polite, very friendly with the fans. It just an incredible person to have got a chance to meet. And he passed away, I believe, in the last year, I think. Let me double check with that. But yeah, it was just a pleasure getting to meet him. Both on two occasions, actually. Very patient with the fans. Very, he died December 17th, 2020. So it's been a little longer than I thought. But absolutely a fine gentleman. Was wonderful. Was patient with the fans and all. And yeah, the miss said he was wonderful with us and the kids. It was a wonderful time and honor to get to meet him. But he didn't only sign that. He also signed this. Well, sorry for a bad angle of Slave One. I will officially always call this Slave One. I don't care what is said. It is Slave One. But he also signed it here, Boba Fett. We do have other signatures of Tamara Morrison and Daniel Logan on this on the other part of the ship. But, just wanted to share this about the experience getting to meet Jeremy Bulloch and what he did, with that. And these are a couple pieces that we've got. The helmet, which was just picked up, it was really we kind of stumbled onto this helmet, and I've used it before. Maybe I can go on a live stream with this if I did a camera. Oh God. I don't know. It does not breathe well. You cannot breathe well in it. You can see a little bit out of that visor spot, but that, you have that. And we also have the Slave One, which is funny because within the last year or so, I saw $150 Slave One ship for sale in a store that actually was boxed, and it called itself Slave One on the box. I almost bought it just because of the box, but I didn't have a place for either the ship or the box. Yes, always. Same here, Daisy. Same here. Classics. And Mrs. says, my sister got the helmet from a thrift store. Oh, wow. I forgot about that. Wow. This is definitely special then. But yeah, it's about the helmet. Wow. Yeah. Hey, yard sells Slave One. You can pick them up. The Yoda lunchbox. Yeah, that's a little mini card lunchbox. Yeah, I don't know that anything's in it, but yeah, it's a little thing. We had some of those. I can't remember how we picked that up, but you noticed that. Thanks, Daisy. That is awesome. So, oh my goodness, wow, where's the time flown? We're almost at an hour and a half. There was one. Let me see something real quick. Let's see. Let me see real quick. Uh, just moving things around, just checking it out before I make the next decision on what to do. But you know, like I said, tell me some of your favorite vehicles, and are there moments of the movies that you've loved, over the years? Ah, okay. I'm glad the missus helps me remember this stuff because I forget where some of the stuff comes up. Yeah, and yeah, a freebie at one of the celebrations. Yep, absolutely. Um, wow. There was one other thing that I was thinking of showing, but I think I will hold that off till the next time. But I will tease you with another show and tell because I have more than enough other Star Wars to talk about. Um, I will show you a piece that I have of something that's beyond. Uh, and Mark, I hope you're still around. Let's see, because I know this would be up Clobby's alley, and I know we've talked about this. Um, just trying to. So hopefully, if Mark, if you're around, or if you're not, but um, the next stream when I do something like this, there's going to be another character greeting with somebody, an actor greeting that we had that is really special. I just got to get the pictures in the right spot. But combined with that, it's going to be some things that are not characters or toys. This is like comics, some music, some glasses, some of the non-vehicle character stuff. And I'm going to show this, Mark. So if you are still here, hopefully, if not, I can bring it up later if you want to. This, it's a jumbo-sized Marvel special edition of Star Wars. Look at the price, $1. Hey, but yes, this is when I say jumbo size, it's like jumbo. It's like I don't know, 24 by 12, or maybe or 18 by 12, or 18 by 11, something like. But it is huge. It's really a really huge comic book here of the original film, and that's the stuff that I plan to do the next time I have a Star Wars stream. That and some of the musical stuff. So hopefully that is a good tease. And I'll get the other laid up because it was a great character. We talked about it before, but there's some photos that we need to show of that other meet and greet that'll be kind of cool and special to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead as we start to wrap up. We are almost at an hour and a half. Wow. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for everybody that stayed. Thank you for people that come in and out that have lurked and everything. But I'm going to go ahead and end the poll now. Of course, I didn't do a countdown, but oh no. What is your favorite Star Wars original trilogy movie? Star Wars wins with 46%, but Empire Strikes Back had to fight off a strong charge by Return of the Jedi and won with 30% and Jedi with 23%. That is that was a surprise there. That completely surprised me. So, and Dave, have a great night too. I'm going to make a few channel announcements on that way out. And what was the thingy with Luke, Vader, and Yoda? Is that something I showed? Oh, yes. Oh, Daisy. Thank you, everyone. Stay to watch. Don't forget to hit the like button. Daisy, I'm going to be mean and do a cliffhanger if that's okay. Or you know what? That's not right if I do it. Lobby card. Lobby card. All right. I'm not going to be able to hold out. I'll have to tell you about it. And I'll show it again next time. But Brian says lobby card. Well, get ready. I'm going to bring up the full image of it. But I will wait till next time that I do a Star Wars to actually talk about it much. But all right. Any other answers? Daisy, did you have a guess since you asked? Anybody else got a guess? Well, we will 3, 2, 1. Okay. I will tell you what it is. It is this. It is a read-along book, a 45 read-along book that still works to this day. You can read the book as the narrator reads the story as it goes through. That is one of the things that I've held on forever. I'll talk more about it because it has a lot of special memories, but I will wait to talk more about it the next time I do some Star Wars. But that's what it is. It is a 45 record with a read-along book. If you all remember, there were always read-along. There were It's a Small World, a lot of Disney read-along books, just all kinds of stuff. But there was one for The Empire Strikes Back. I'm sure there might have been one for the other, or at least Return of the Jedi. But at that point, I was probably beyond that. But that's so cool. You have many of those record books. Yeah. Well, what was neat, it was kind of like the VCR before VCRs, back in those days, you didn't have recordings and stuff to watch. You had to live in it with your memory. And, that was a good way to kind of relive some of that. But I do think it does contain an error in it, as I realize as I've gotten older. So, but I can talk about that more another time. But yeah, again, thank you all for being here. As I'm getting ready to close up, there's a couple of things I do need to talk about on the way out the door. Like I said, follow us over on the Twitch side. On YouTube, make sure you like the videos, tweet them out to others, get more people. Let's try to get to 150. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hopefully you like what you've seen. Hopefully in the next couple of months, we're coming up with some new content and different things. There'll still be some chill chats. This Wednesday night, I'm going to do a chill chat that is kind of more like a show, a show and tell everyone. If you're familiar with that strategy game Axis and Allies, I'm going to show and tell that on Wednesday night and talk about that game a bit. Why? Because I like the game. I think it's kind of interesting. So join me Wednesday night for that. There'll be some Fortnite and stuff the next few nights. You'll just watch, have my link to look at for when we go live or what to look for. Now the football season's over. Got another sport we got to go to. And what is March without basketball? We're going to start with my great good friend Whoopa Troopa, Monday Madness. It will start February 27th. We will have a couple weeks of ending the regular season and going into the conference tournaments to talk some basketball, and then we will follow the NCAA tournament throughout its conclusion. So sports is never dead around here. There's usually something going on. So join us for that. Even if you don't like basketball, hey, my goal is to make you my goal is to make you laugh and have some fun with us. Even if it's something you hate, you don't like to listen to. I like to have fun. Maybe Boomerang it can give you a laugh. Just something to provide some entertainment. Have a conversation with you. Basketball will be the same thing. Like in football, I encourage you, come. If you don't know the sport, ask questions. Ask what rules are, things like that. I can tell you the experience of being an official. It's kind of interesting in real life when you have to get out there on the field and you got mad parents, mad coaches, mad players, and but there's also a lot of good things in the game, and skills and ways to play, and a lot of cool stuff that goes along with it. So I hope you give it a chance. Try to join us on Mondays at 7 p.m. Near the end of the month, we're going to have another detour with the Dadmans. The plan is we're going to look at Fort Pickens, a fort that we visited this last summer. And I started trying to get into some more of the history part of the channel. But since the missus we're looking to do that as a detour together. There's some other show concepts I'm working on getting, just waiting on some details to get ironed out before I say anything publicly about them. And, just hope to do, like I said, do a lot of fun stuff, a lot of gaming, but a lot of also other stuff too. And as always, check out our live streams and videos on YouTube at Dadman Walking 55, twitch.tv at Dadman Walking 55. That's why we keep everything at Dadman Walking 55 to make it easy to find. So you can check out our streaming schedule, or whenever we are going to go live or have something planned, check us out on Twitter, get the notifications when I tweet out, hit the bell on the YouTube side so that you get notifications when we go live. At any time. Well, folks, with that, unless anybody has any other Star Wars coming, wait a second. I think I saw one I want to see. Brian said, I have Star Wars and Empire Strikes pop-up books, but not that. Yep. And I believe, do you also have the Return of the Jedi pop-up book, Brian? Because I believe that we have that in the cabinet out there. I think it's another one that we picked up at a thrift store or a yard sale or something. But yes, those pop-up books were something that you don't see very often. A lot of times people have the ships, the plane, the ships, the characters and all that. But the side merchandise, like the books and all, are the things that are harder to find. I think. Yeah, I think so too, but we'll have to look for it when we can. We'll just add that to the list of things we can talk about another time when we talk about Star Wars. But hey, on that note, my friends, thank you for being here. I really appreciate the time. Anywhere from 8 to 12, 15 of y'all, and people coming in throughout, whether you lurked, whether you came in and left a like, and just lurk. Thank you all. The people that have been here from the beginning, thank you. Thank you for chatting with me. I love doing this. Thank you. And I hope you had a good time out of this, had some laughs and had some fun with this too. And hope to do these again and stuff. And this is just today was an odd time. I've been doing a third Sunday stream at 3:00, and I'm looking at, looking at different options, streaming at different times too. And it's kind of neat to do something a little out of the ordinary and when I'm not worked all day. But with all that rambling said, because it wouldn't be Dadman without one more ramble. Hey, have a great day, evening, rest of your weekend. If you return back to work tomorrow, good luck. Hopefully it's a good work week. And you all take care. And thank you for your support. It means the world to us, to me, and to the missus. And thank you all for being here. And catch you later. Bye.